Hello and welcome to the special stage, the little bonus section for the title Pendering Podcast, where we get a little bit of odds and ends. Today we will be doing our tier list for the characters featured in episode 1, featuring the first 10 issues of the comic. I am Ampu Camilla, and I am joined with the wonderful Vespa, and today we're gonna have to be sorting through a lot of characters. So let's just jump right into it. We've done enough preamble. Let's see Sonic, the big blue blur himself. How do we feel about him at this current point in time?
Just looking over the fucking characters you picked.
Don't worry about it. We'll get there when we get there.
God,
we gotta start with Sonic first.
I guess. I feel like I'm thinking either B or C. Like, he's fine. Like, it's very much like 90s Western Sonic.
Yeah. I get that. I get he's very snarky, very impatient. He's very, like, counterculture, as we talked about in the episode, where he's just making quips and references and like, oh, I'm better than all these other cartoon comic characters.
Yeah. He likes that kind of the heart that, like, you see in at least Adventures with his relationship with Tails. Like, it's just it's more just like basic snarky smartass Sonic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I would say C tier. I think he's gonna shoot up as we go on, but for right now we're gonna place him in C tier.
We'll see.
We'll see. Pun
not intended.
Next character, Tails. He's got nothing going for him.
Yeah,
he is just
I hate to say it.
Side character. He's just side character to Fox. I feel like he just goes into D tier just by default. Yeah,
he's basically just the tag-along kid character at this point, even more so than Adventure's Tale. Like, it's not like Adventure's Tale definitely like emphasizes how young he is, but at least again, there's still like some endearingness to his relationship with Sonic and like him being like this goofy, cute little kid.
Yeah, he's. Do you think we should put him in C tier just on par? Do you think he's on par with Sonic at this point, or do you think he's worse just by how bland he is?
I'd say D. Okay. He does not have much going for him at the moment.
Okay. And... oh boy. Princess fucking Sally.
I'm guessing already by the tone of your voice saying it. Yeah,
we're done.
About right. Like,
so, Boomer, no.
Yeah, I don't blame you with Sally. It's not a good start for her so far.
She's just a very stereotypically written character. There's nothing to say for her at this point other than she's the girl of the group.
Yeah, the token female main character so far.
Oh, we're not off to a great start with our ratings.
The main characters.
The main cast is already in the bottom dregs.
God, like the lead ones that they're like the main characters of like the games and comics.
Yeah,
Rotor / Boomer.
I feel like I'm feeling a fatty B for Boomer. Honestly,
yeah, I'm thinking B as well.
I think he's pretty decent. Pretty decent. He doesn't have much going for him, but since Tails hasn't usurped the gadgeteer side yet, I think he's got like that going for him at least.
Yeah, I definitely was thinking B as well for Rotor.
Okay. So, Antoine. A for No. A for Antoine!
I'd say maybe C, since like he's still like the kind of like snobby butt monkey character you see in a lot of these kind of cartoons and comics from this era, but at the very least, he's not incompetent. Like, he's
not French yet. Like, we've seen a bit of that in issue 10, but he's not French yet.
Yeah, they don't lean heavily on him being like a French coward like they do in the cartoon. Like, he's just kind of like the snobby, like, butt monkey. But actually, he can...
Yeah.
He's helpful, at least.
Yeah, so C tier then?
Yeah, C's fine.
God, I don't like seeing Sonic and Antoine on the same tier!
I imagine things will change as we go along.
Yeah. Okay, so Bunny Rabbit. I feel like she's also just in the seats here. She doesn't have... I don't feel like she has anything going for her. She is just, I am a bionic rabbit, and I want to be a hairdresser.
She's the stubborn girl.
She's the other girl.
And the other muscle, I suppose. Like, so far, much as I like her design, like, she's, so far, barely had a presence, like, since she joined the team.
Yeah, I love her design, but I have to unfortunately rate these characters by how they appear in
so far,
so far, and so I feel like she's a C tier right now.
Hopefully things will change for the better once we start getting to the meat of things.
Yeah,
Uncle Chuck.
Uncle Chuck.
I've always liked Uncle Chuck. Whenever I see him, like he's just
pretty cool.
Old man Sonic. It's something that we'll get into a lot especially when we get into the Knuckles stuff. Like
he
that.
Could get it.
God. Yeah, I think I'm thinking at least maybe B tier for him since he's like
I'm shooting for A tier.
I think
he's like the huge DILF energy. I think if this was released 20 years later, we would be seeing a lot of fan art of Uncle Chuck. Do you think?
God.
Do you think he should go to A tier? Do you think he should stay in B tier? Do you think he doesn't have much going for him that he doesn't? He's friendly. He's helpful. He's an inventor. He makes shoes and rings. That's what a girl wants. In a dream. Shoes and rings.
In a dream, he did.
He also makes chili dogs. Food, shoes, and rings. That's what a girl wants. Like you might not realize it, but I am personality girl.
A tier is fine.
Hell yeah, we got the first A tier, and it's Uncle fucking Chuck. Okay, Mutsky.
He's a dog, though. B tier, B tier at least. He's a fine enough character. I like his robot design.
He do be a good boy.
And I like the robot design.
Yeah, it is a pretty good design. I would say B.
The pork you duck thing. We did not touch on this at all.
We completely skipped the arc in which Thorny was featured in because it was such a boring, unremarkable story.
Yeah.
It's just the plot of it is just Sonic wants to get a pet, but Sally doesn't trust the pet, and then Sonic ditches the pet. And then they save the day, and they're like, yo, you're an honorary freedom fighter.
Yeah, he wanted to get, a birthday gift for Sally, and, the porcupine duck thing was, an endangered species, and he thought she'd like it, but she gets all pissy about it, until, he ends up saving the day. It's one of those kind of, pet stories. And then we never see the porcupine duck again afterwards.
So, level with me on this.
Alright. What the fuck, why?
They're a goober. They're an absolute goober.
I guess.
They're just a fucking lad, a specimen. I feel like specimen goes to A tier.
I guess.
Do you have a counterpoint? You don't sound too confident in my abilities to judge characters.
I just find it funny that we're putting a character we didn't even talk about in the episode on the A tier. Jesus Christ.
Because they're great. They're A for awesome, Vespa.
Alright.
Okay.
Porker Lewis.
And so now, we're going to go to Porker Lewis. I think it's a non-contest. I think Porker Lewis goes in the S tier, dude.
God damn it.
Unless you have anything else to say about Porker Lewis. I think Porker Lewis is the GOAT, honestly.
Can we at least put the fucking butterfly in F tier?
Hold on. You can put Betty Butterfly in F tier.
Or at least E for because that's the lowest rank in Sonic games. Actually, was there an F tier in some of the later games?
I don't think so.
I feel like it's usually E.
Yeah, I think it's just E. Wait. Oh, sorry. I free names and then hold on. D. I also fucked the color up. There we go. We'll put Betty Butterfly in. She's just an ugly character. She's a fucking reboot looking ass.
And there's some really awkward exposition for her hopefully sole appearance.
I hope she comes back into Pender's era.
God.
Like in a Knuckles miniseries. You got Betty Butterfly just revealing some weird batshit echidna prophecy. But
it's not even like echidna stuff, it's like for like Charmy Bee or something.
Yeah.
Professor
Kintobor. Professor Kintobor. I mean, he just seems like a chill guy.
Yeah, he seemed like a nice enough guy, and I've always liked at least the idea behind the whole Kintobor, like, backstory, even if it is very clunkily handled.
Yeah.
I'd say, like, probably B.
Yeah, I'd say B tier. Okay, so now we have Eggman, as I'll call him, because it's from the original plot. How do you feel about this magnificent orb of a man?
I've always liked. If we're just considering this like game Eggman, then probably S tier, I guess, is like one of my favorite characters. And I do love
S tier boy.
I do love the classic Eggman design.
I'm glad we have fucking Piggly Wiggly and Game Spear as our S tier champions right now.
Hey, at least it's the game version of Eggman, technically.
Yeah.
Dr. Robotnik.
For actual Robotnik. I feel like he would rank pretty high, because he's a fun villain. I feel like he would be an A tier. I don't know if he would be an unironic S, but he's a pretty good... He's a fun, cartoony buffoon of a man.
I like him well enough, it's just that it's kind of hard for me to top, like, when I think of, like, 90s Eggman, 90s Western Eggman, my mind always goes to, oh my god, I'm blanking out the name of the actor for Adventures is, Robotnik, John Baldry, that one's always just, like, that's why I just compare them all to, like, and he's fun enough, like, it's like I said, like a lot of, early Archie Sonic, it's like the in-between of Sad AM and Adventure, and he's like the, like a mix between Sad AM and Adventures Robotnik. Like, he doesn't have, like, the like, presence and, like, absolute ego of Adventures, Robotnik, but he still does have, like, some of that fun to him.
Yeah, definitely. I would argue for an A tier ranking, honestly.
Fair enough.
I love how we just have mostly just the villains in the top tier and the heroes in the bottom tier.
I mean, Eggman's usually the highlight. I always say, like, even for non-fans, he's like he's everyone's favorite character, I feel like.
Yeah. Okay.
Snively.
Snively is gonna be a weird one, because we've only seen him in, like,
technically
2 issues. Technically 1.
Yeah, was he in? I know he was in the music, the one where they go to the music.
He's in the music one. He was in the Christmas Carol one.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Cratchit.
Technically.
Yeah, I don't think he was in any other ones. Marley, I'm a fake fan of the Christmas Carol. I hope you know. I watched like Scrooge. I watched like the Muppets Christmas Carol. I watched the Flintstones Christmas Carol. Scrooge was pretty good. That one had I think a weird shootout scene at the office. It was fucking weird. It was great.
I've watched Muppets Christmas Carol, and for my reading class last year, I had to read the original story for it.
Right.
I've seen just so many fucking Christmas Carol adaptations over the course of my life, including like a live production that my sister was a part of.
So I would say the Christmas Carol is the greatest work of mankind, and as such, Snively goes to the S tier now.
God damn.
I don't know. I feel like a C just by default.
Yeah, C's fine because we just have not seen anything of like note for Snively.
A, we're forming a bell curve. B, Sonic and Snively in the same.
Oh god! Like half the Freedom Fighters on the same level with Snively's like one appearance.
Okay, Jesus so now we're getting into the badniks. We're getting into Eggman's goons, Robotnik's goons. I just want to add as an addendum, I have just been going back and forth since we started recording episode 1 to the point that, like, I don't even know what to call him anymore. Like, I just have been going back and forth. I think I'm slowly programming myself to call him Robotnik again. It is just an existential nightmare, and I cannot wait until we get to the point where he's just universally Eggman, yeah.
I don't know how long that's gonna take,
It's
though.
not even... That's gonna be, like, all the way up until, like, the SA2 era, I'm pretty sure.
Probably, yeah. I think that's the point, like, they just ditched the Robotnik name in the West.
Yeah, okay, so Burrowbot, he's cool.
Yeah, he's fine enough. Like, he's no...
fine enough.
He's no grounder.
I feel like he should be in... Despite saying he's fine enough, I feel like he should go into D tier, just because he doesn't... He's not... Like, of all the badniks we have left to rank, I feel like he's the most boring one.
Fair,
He's
but, like, also...
He's just a
Orbinot...
minion with a drill bit nose.
Yeah, but also Orbinot, like, had one appearance and barely... It didn't say anything. Like, he just threw a spike
We'll get
ball
there,
at
we'll
Sonic.
get there. We'll get there when we get
Like,
there, but we gotta figure out Burrowbot first.
The Burrow... Like, we have had multiple Burrowbots so far, like...
Yeah.
And, like, they're the most... I mean, next to Buzz Bomber, like, the most reoccurring and active of the badniks, so, like...
I feel like it's mainly Buzz Bomber, Crab Meat, and the SWAT bots, though.
Yeah, Crab Meat appears a lot, but he's usually just, like, Like, he just kind of, like... I think he's what Snively will take later on. Like, he's the henchman that gets the worst of it repeatedly from the boss.
Yeah. But I feel like... I don't know. I just think Burrowbot's forgettable.
Yeah. And he's like a okay design, but like not one of my favorite badnik designs, so D's fine.
DT,
God.
okay.
Buzz Bomber. How do you feel about the redesign they give him?
Not super into it, but I like it better than the newer one, because at a Walmart right now they have Jack's Pacific figures, not sponsored, but they have like freaky ass, like realistic looking eyes, and they creep me the hell out.
Oh, wait, like the modern Buzz Bombers?
Yeah, modern Buzz Bomber.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of those designs. I was thinking like you might have meant like the cartoony classic design.
Yeah, like, I feel like the classic one might be the best. I think it sounds like a joke because it's partly a joke. I feel like B for Buzz Bomber. I think Buzz Bomber is cool.
Yeah,
looking.
I kind of like the design for it, even though it does feel jarring since it's the only one that has that radical of a redesign compared to the rest of the badniks.
Oh man, Caterkiller, my homie Caterkiller.
Caterpillars are like those are just like an iconic.
So annoying in the actual game.
They're pains, but like they're also like one of the most iconic designs of the classic badniks to me.
Yeah.
Though we only saw Caterpillar like technically once at the start of the miniseries.
Yeah.
As he, like, I guess was trying to bite at Sonic. We didn't really like go over Caterpillar's introduction, but it's not like it was a footnote. Like
if we're gonna cover, like, every single character that appears, like, oh man, yeah, we gotta talk about the one time Dr. Frankenstein was in a one-shot thing, we gotta talk about Einstein, like, no, we had to draw the line somewhere.
Yeah.
I don't know, I feel like also D, honestly.
Yeah. Like, he's okay.
Crab Meat, my beloved.
Honestly, like, it ranks pretty high for me since, like, they're the most personality.
Maybe the first unironic S.
Maybe.
I don't know. I'm not confident in that, but I know he's going to be at least above B tier or above.
Yeah,
but I think he needs to be pretty high.
Yeah, I was going to say maybe A. Because I do like the Crab Meat. I thought it was just like an iconic Sonic badnik.
He's just a goober.
Yeah,
he's just a fucking goober, and I love him.
Yeah, I feel bad for the poor Crab Meat or Crab Meat. I don't know if like if it's like the swap bots where there's just multiple ones, or they all share the same conscious.
Well, the SWAT bots definitely have different consciousness because they refer to each other by numbers.
Yeah, the badniks seem to like share a personality. Like the jaw seems to be like the same one all across the appearances it makes.
Yeah.
Orbinot, D, like it did. Like that's another iconic, another one of the iconic badniks, but like. Yeah, I suppose.
He's a lad. He's an orb of a lad, and I just like the idea of Orbinot better than Tails and Sally.
Jesus Christ, this list.
This list is awful.
Splats.
I would have forgotten about Splats had you not mentioned them multiple times during the podcast, honestly.
That is entirely fair, given that they were not even in the games. Like Like, but they're so notable because they're, like, to me, because they were never included in the game, but somehow got into the comics.
I don't know. They don't have much going for them in the comics, and they don't appear in the games. They're only in, like, Sonic Mania.
Yeah. Like, and, like, I guess, like, think of the debug mode maybe for the original game, but, like, they only really have one real appearance. Like, the rest of the time, they're just, like, background fodder, like, in, like, the scenes they appear in, so, like, probably D or C. C at most, because I liked it. Yeah. I like their design. I just think their design is really cute.
I think if they feature more, I would be inclined to put them to C, but it's just a matter of, like, they don't have much going for them.
Yeah.
And also they barely appear, you know?
Agreed. Jaws. Maybe. If we're really pushing it.
Yeah, I feel like C is put... How about this? We put Jaws in D, but put Splats in C. We push them back up because I think Splats is cuter than Jaws, and I think Jaws is just nothing. Jaws is just generic enemy,
just like aquatic villain.
Yeah,
the SWAT bots,
my beloveds. I feel like they need to be B or above because I just love how hapless they are. I touched upon it in podcasts, but they just like. They're just people that love their lives, love their jobs, even if their boss is just absolutely horrendously abusive.
Yeah, I do enjoy,
they're the Amazon workers of Robotropolis.
I do enjoy, since it's been on mine, they kind of remind me a bit of, like, the Fucks for Less and Ratchet 2. Like, the kind of, like, the bad guys that, like, they're evil, but they're just, like, it's more like a job for them, and a job they enjoy that still is very rough and villainous.
Yeah, like, if they could take an Amazon workhouse job, it would still be as abusive, but the pay might be better.
Yeah.
I would say B.
Yeah, definitely B at least. Coconuts.
I don't care for coconuts. I honestly don't care.
Like, they just don't really have as... Like, I feel bad for them, at least in, like, the cartoon, but, like, with the comic, we barely got to see them. Like... Yeah. Like, at least Cartoon Coconuts has, like, him being, like, the underdog of the group, since, like, he gets treated like shit even by the other two. But, like, this one is just, like, he's a bad guy. Like, he just has kind of, like...
D.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fair.
Just forgettable, honestly, in this depiction. And we're not... If we do cartoon tier list, it would be funny to see where he ranks amongst the others once we start... Because we're probably going to do for those listening, we're probably going to do the cartoons as well, probably as like bonus content as well, special stage and all that.
That I am right now, sure, but like...
Right now, I don't think Coconuts is that interesting.
Yeah, or Grounder and Scratch. Because these... like I said, they were the highlight of like the first 10 issues for me, seeing them show up.
Yeah. My personal bias, I love Scratch a lot. I don't know why. I genuinely don't know why I like Scratch so much. I feel like I want to just joking like, oh, S tier anyway, Pseudosonic, you know, but like
I don't do my boy Grounder dirty like that.
Grounder's okay.
I love Grounder.
I feel like I just didn't even care for them as much. They don't resonate with me as much as Scratches. I don't know how to explain it. They're both okay. I like them as a duo, but I would say A tier for Scratch, B tier for Grounder.
Fair. I'm fine
and
with
there's entirely my own bias for that. Pseudosonic. I feel like Pseudosonic needs to be super high ranking. I love him. He is such a goblin of a man.
I just hate that we barely get to focus on him. Like, I've always... I liked, at least this one, like, is an actual, like, robot rather than, like, the mech thing they did in the cartoon. But, like, we barely get to see him before they scrap him. And I was assuming,
he's such a gremlin.
Yeah, I love the design. Like, such a goofy version of, like, the classic adventures Sonic.
I just love how Antoine... One thing we didn't cover, because it's just such a dumb joke, is that, like, I think Antoine falls for the disguise because he was drawn in silhouette, And the Daryl, the editor, or one of the other writing staff writes in oh, now they're blaming the artists in a little cut-in box. It's so stupid. I feel like Pseudosonic is either A or, dare I say it, maybe even S.
A, I'd say A.
A,
if they get another actual story before Metal comes along, because it's inevitable. Maybe they might get bumped up to S. God, the S rank so far is
Porker Lewis, and it's just Porker Lewis and JP Eggman. It's so bleak.
Good God.
All the main characters, aside from supplemental backstory characters, just in an embarrassing bell curve towards the bottom.
God.
Okay.
I'm just wondering, when we get to side the comic where Porker Lewis is going to change, because I know they're an actual character in that.
We'll see, but that's not going to be for a long time.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, I summon Universe Salamander in face-up attack position. What do you do?
See, they were a fine enough threat. They gave us the first appearance of Supersonic at least, because they were apparently that much of a threat.
And it's S for Super. No.
God damn
it. Universe Salamander is interesting. I think I like how they're just a little guy, and then they have the weird the size beam. Oops. I think that's pretty funny. I like how when he's announcing his name, it gets a different font, but it's not massive title blocking font whenever Sonic's name is said. It's just a goofier, hand-drawn font.
I'd say C.
Yeah, I'll put C. Terminator. S tier? S tier?
No,
Terminator S tier?
We're not putting more gag characters into S tier.
He's great, though.
C. It's
C? Why C? I feel B, at least.
I'm just not crazy for the termite cartoon thing of they're eating forever.
Yeah, but he's so big. He could cuddle you with his multiple pairs of arms. He would make a good cuddler, is all I'm saying.
Oh my. Fine.
Fine.
The fucking villain in B tier.
Okay,
God.
Botman. We could put Botman in D.
Sure,
I don't think Botman is anything interesting other than setting up for other jokes, which we'll get to once we get towards the end.
Yeah, just the fucking oh yeah, I fucking saw Urkel Bot. Yeah, D tier.
We'll get there.
Leon,
okay, so now we can exit Ninja Turtles.
Well, I guess it's topical, given the movie just came out last week. I'm just thinking how
I don't know shit about the Ninja Turtles.
I know a fair amount, so
you're gonna have to guide me, and we're just gonna have to, I guess, pretend the Ninja Turtles. Just rank how you like the Ninja Turtles, and we'll just put them relative to the others. I don't know.
Fair. Leonardo's usually just the leader type. He's not just not in the Zavik sense, but still he's usually just the main guy, usually
he's
the level-headed
guy.
Yeah, he's level-headed, can gets a little over his head sometimes, bickers with Raphael usually, he's very much just I
feel like that could be a solid B. I feel like we can have a good strong
Leo's
leader.
Fine.
Leo's fine. I feel like that's a solid B character then.
I think that's Donatello. Yeah, I think it's the purple mask.
One, yeah.
Donnie, he's the brainiac of the group. It kind of varies on how he's handled. I'm just thinking of 2012 Donnie because of the obnoxious April O'Neil love romance plotline that just dragged on forever in that show.
It sounds like a nightmare.
It was obnoxious. He can be fun enough, I guess. He's never really been, he hasn't really had, a stand. I'll admit, I'm not, a huge TMNT guy, so I have not, read or watched all of the stories with them, so, though he doesn't really stand out to me as much, even compared to Leo, so, C tier, maybe.
C tier, okay.
Yeah.
And I like the whole Brainiac angle.
Yeah,
but I guess if he doesn't stand out that much besides that, then it makes sense.
Raphael's always been my favorite. He's watching when I first watched the 2012 cartoon. He was the one to stand out to me because he's the grumpy one, or the one who is cocky, the muscle. Though, like, oddly enough, like, despite him usually being portrayed as, like, the angry, like, grumpy one of the bunch, like, in the original cartoon, he was, like, the laid-back, fourth wall breaker of the group, like, voiced by, Rob Paulson, I believe, is the voice actor. Like, Rex is always my favorite whenever he shows up or, like, gets the focus, so, like, probably A or S tier for me.
Oh my god. You really think Unironic S are gonna have Porker Lewis, J.P. Robotnik, and...
Okay, A rank.
No, you can't take it back. You can't take it back,
Fair.
dude.
Mikey,
Mikey.
He is very... Like, he's, of course, like, the comic relief of the group, and usually, like, the youngest of the group. Like, of course, with that kind of role, it very much varies adaptation to adaptation. Like, sometimes he's the most obnoxious one of the group, i.e. Next Mutation. Sometimes he's still very, like, he's annoying in an endearing way, like 2012.
You just gave me a massive flashback to, like, the 2000s with the futuristic Ninja Turtles shit.
Yeah, Flash Forward or whatever it was called.
Yeah, you just gave me a flashback to, like, I didn't even grow up on Ninja Turtles. I wasn't allowed to watch it as a kid, but I was just, like, that just, like, somehow just unlocked for me. I don't even know why.
I like Mikey well enough, like, when he's handled in a non-obnoxious way. Like, I think probably, like, B or maybe A.
B or A. So now we have our official Ninja Turtles rankings. Let's get to the joke characters that we're probably just gonna put in F. So we got the Nerbs. We just fucking hate them. They're just annoying stereotypes with bland jokes.
Yeah, we didn't talk much about their story because I just had no patience for it. Like, that was the point. Me when I read, like, God, skip through this. Like, it's like
literally just Smurfs, but they're nerds,
and they keep
making their names wrong, and they're also just very discriminatory and snooty. They're just not interesting.
It's an annoying story because, like, the Nerbs are just, like, annoying, like, nerdy, like, but also, like, the annoying, like, 80s nerd stereotype mixed with them being very, like, the, like, hidden elf village kind of thing of, like, they want to keep their place secret, but also the Freedom Fighters are all, like, ew, nerds, ugh.
Don't you mean Nerbs? They're Nerbs.
Hey, that was the point when I was reading, just like, they are running out of material, holy shit, Sega, please throw them a bone and give them a game already. God. Yeah, Hal and Cal, F.
Out, horizontal, and... Okay, but, like, what if we put one of them above the other? What if one's above the other? What if one's better than the other? What do you... If you were held at gunpoint, and you had to say which one of the which is better or worse than the other...
I genuinely don't know. They're indistinguishable from each other.
Fine. Let's put them in F tier. They're just annoying, jokey characters that basically amount to nothing, but for some reason the kids love them, I guess because they're just so random.
I guess. Like, it was, like, Archie-level randomness, like, for, like, the Christian 90 kids that grew up with Archie comics.
Yeah. And then, so we have one of the waitress spots from the Casino Night Zone story. Doesn't have a name, but I just wanted to put them in here just on the principle of what the fuck am I looking at?
It's such a weird one-off
unironic S. No. Okay. Urkel staff. We know that. We know.
Stupid joke. And it looks ugly.
Yeah, it's just an annoying nothing character, honestly. And so, for the final character, Freddy Fox, we do have them in triple S tier, as they deserve to be. And so that's Friends.
I love that it's a fucking Peppa Pig character. Like, please tell me this isn't like a fan character someone made of.
No. I was searching Freddy the Fox, and I had to like double, triple check. This is an actual character in Peppa Pig. They come in from like season 2 or something. They're a real character. I had to like triple check to make sure I wasn't taking some kid's OC. But yes, there is a Freddy the Fox in Peppa Pig. And I feel like, given how amazing they are, even though they're not as cute as Tails, I think they have more heart than Tails, honestly.
Good God. Look at this fucking list, bud. This is for the Sonic comics, and they're...
We have this Sonic comic, and we have, like, ignoring the literal joke tiers, we have Sonic at the second worst ranking.
Like, I kind of expected to get that Sonic, like, I don't know, like, anyone that says, like, Sonic is their favorite Sonic character. Like,
it's like if you say Mario is your favorite Sonic character, and I realize I'm getting into nuclear takes, and I'm just like,
Mario's
you're
your favorite
white bread.
Sonic character. Like,
You know what I mean, though?
Right,
like,
because he did appear in Mario Sonic.
But, like, if your favorite character is Sonic, or your favorite character is Mario, that's cool.
Like, it's
You're basic.
It's just such a weird choice because they're just so vanilla. Like it's so vanilla that almost wraps around to being unique because no one is going to really like say that like, oh, Mickey Mouse is like my favorite cartoon character or something. Like
I realize that my interests are completely fucked, and once we actually get to like what my favorite Sonic characters are, I'm just gonna sound like a psychopath. But like Sonic, Mario being your favorite characters,
like at least Mario I can maybe get because he's just like a nice guy. Like if he just like nice characters, like Sonic's just it varies. But I feel like he just kind of tends to be annoying.
Yeah.
Like whether it's like an intentional kind of like like kind of annoying, like trying to make like a basically 90s Bugs Bunny in a sense, but not as charming. Or he's like annoying because it's like radical 90s to the extreme, even when it's no longer the 90s. Like, not to say like he can't be written well, of course. Like, and I'm sure like we actually will get like some well-written Sonic stuff later in this, but it's just like this kind of Sonic is very much like take it or leave it with how he's handled.
Absolutely. I'm just looking it up. I just love how we came to the conclusion that Sonic is on par with Universe Salamander.
God.
But worse than the Terminator.
I hate this so much.
It's really good. I don't know what you're talking about, dude. I love how our S tier is bleak.
That is so sad. It's not even fucking Sonic characters.
It's not even characters that appear in the main issues of the story, aside from, I guess, the fucking Ninja Turtle.
You're the one that put them in here, bud.
I know that. I just wasn't expecting you to talk them up to S tier, is what I was figuring. I wasn't expecting that, okay?
Good God.
But that's gonna do it for this episode's special zone. Tune in next time when we just lose our minds to whatever happens next. We've not done our reading yet, but we'll see. We'll see. Until next time, stay pendering, penderheads.
Got a juice.
Oh my God, okay.